Hello, I'm Shane Brewer, the first commanding officer of USS Marinette. It is truly exciting to be a part of our plank owner crew and be able to commission our ship in her namesake city. It's also a real privilege to be able to lead almost 80 motivated sailors as we prepare to get this ship underway for the very first time and sail her down to Mayport, which is also my hometown of Jacksonville, Florida.
Hey, what's going on? My name's Michael Niner. I'm a damage controlman first class petty officer, United States Navy, on board LCS-25, USS Marinette, which is pretty cool. Part of my responsibilities, I'm a damage control training team coordinator and a gas re-engineering assistant, and my job is to maintain proficiency on board this ship when it comes to fighting fires. That's a Class Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. And one of the reasons for that is that every sailor on board this ship is a firefighter. We train from that day one when joining and going through boot camp, all the way up to their first command and next command and next command and so on and so forth. This, what you're in right now, is one of my responsibilities, this space. This space is called a repair locker. This is Repair 3. We have another locker out forward of the ship called Repair 2. Inside this locker, it houses every capability we need to combat a casualty, from electrical fires as well, all the way down to toxic gas leaks. And that is one of my key responsibilities, to maintain that proficiency throughout the entire crew as a damage controlman. Now, what this means to me, being on board USS Marinette, is that not every sailor gets the opportunity to commission a ship, first off, but mainly commission a ship that is built in the same hometown that it's named after. It's truly a great thing to be a part of, and I really appreciate the opportunity the Navy has given me to be a part of this journey.
I'm Culinary Specialist, Second Class Christopher Lester. Culinary Specialist, this is what I do. The importance of that is to make sure that the crew eats 3 full square meals a day. And basically, behind that goes a lot of prepping. We wake up early in the morning, make sure breakfast gets put out, make sure lunch is on time, we clean as we go, make sure dinner is out on time. All of that just to make sure that we feed all 3 messes. We have the general mess, we have the chief's mess, we have the wardroom. It takes a lot to kind of lead a galley. You have the admin side of it, you have the preparation side, you have the food side, you have to make sure everything is sanitized, you have to clean as you go, you have to put pride in everything that we put out.
Good afternoon. My name is Bosun Mate, First Class Alexandria McHellen, and I'm a sailor on board the USS Marinette. My sailor's job as a bosun mate is to clean and preservate the ship. When we clean, we also needle gun, we sand, we make sure the ship is in tip-top condition for the Navy and the families to see. We also do life-saving recoveries for the ship just in case someone falls overboard while we're out to sea. One of our methods are the J-bar davit, which is here on the forecastle to my right-hand side. We'll deploy a SAR swimmer, and that swimmer will go out and save the man that fell overboard. Another method that we use as bosun mates is our 7-meter rib. The rib is a smaller boat on our ship that is used to also recover a man. So during our boat evolutions, we'll lower the boat to the water. The SAR swimmer will then go out and recover the man, bring him back to the ship safe and sound.
Good afternoon. My name is Lieutenant Mix. I'm the ship's navigator on board USS Marinette LCS-25. So a couple of the capabilities on this ship: we can drive up to 40 plus knots. We can launch small boats out of the stern via the waterborne mission zone. And we can launch a small boat, a 6-meter rib, off of the boat deck on the port side. And we can also launch and recover helos, MH-60s. So the art, the only things that are in the pilot house are on the backs of the chairs. They commemorate the 3 cities that are near. There's the city of Marinette, the city of Peshtigo, which is a little bit farther down south, and the city of Menominee, which is where we're moored, which is on north of the Menominee River. And those cities have made generous contributions to our commissioning committee fund and legacy fund for the ship. They were able to pay for the artwork that you'll see throughout the ship, both for the order and installation, and they allowed the crew members to vote on where the various images that commemorate the various cities would go throughout the ship, on the non-tight doors and on the bulkheads that supported installation of those murals.
Greetings, my name is Command Senior Chief Shed. I'm Marinette's Senior Enlisted Advisor. It was our crew's honor to commission this warship in its namesake city, and it was my distinct pleasure to serve alongside these sailors to commission her. On behalf of the crew and the officers on board, thank you for joining us on this tour.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you to Menominee, Michigan for the commissioning ceremony for USS Marinette. I am Commander John Voakley, the ship's executive officer. On behalf of the crew of USS Marinette, I would like to express our sincere gratitude for joining us here today. Before our celebration begins, please silence your cell phones. Thank you. We are here today to celebrate the commissioning of USS Marinette, the first warship named after Marinette, Wisconsin, and the third naval vessel to be named in honor of the community. Naval Vessel Marinette YTB 791 was laid down by the Marinette Marine Corporation on September 8, 1966, and placed in service July 3, 1967. A large harbor tug, Marinette was known as a workhorse and performed tugging services for the 5th Naval District headquartered at Norfolk, Virginia, into 1969. An additional naval vessel, the warship Marinette County LST-953, was previously named for the surrounding community. The ship was laid down September 15, 1944 by Bethlehem Steel Company, Hingham, Massachusetts, commissioned November 7th, and was decommissioned November 12, 1946 in Beaumont, Texas. Supporting the Marines during World War II, LST-953 received 1 battle star for its service. Would all veterans and active duty service members please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your service. Would all military families please rise and be recognized? Thank you for your support of our military members. Will the guests please be seated? Our ceremony today is a time-honored tradition which began with the commissioning of our first warship, a captured British schooner, the Margaretta, in 1775. Since then, thousands of ships have undergone the transition from silent hull to a fully alive warship. My shipmates, our crew, who are hereafter known as plank owners, are in formation and ready. In just a few moments, Navy Band Great Lakes will render honors to the Honorable Jennifer Granholm. Will the guests please rise and remain standing for the arrival of our official party, honors, the presentation of colors, our national anthem, and the invocation. Ladies and gentlemen, our platform guests. Lieutenant Jeffrey Spindle, Chaplain Corps, United States Navy, our ceremony chaplain. Mr. Dan Peterson, Chairman, USS Marinette Commissioning Committee, and our long glass presenter. Captain Matthew Lehman, United States Navy, Littoral Combat Ship Program Manager. Captain Mark Haney, United States Navy, Commander, Littoral Combat Ship Squadron 2. Captain David Hart, United States Navy, Supervisor of Shipbuilding Bath. Mr. Marco Galbiati, Chief Executive Officer, Fincantieri Marine Group. Mr. Chauncey McIntosh, Vice President and General Manager, Integrated Warfare Systems and Sensors, Lockheed Martin. Rear Admiral Select Kevin Smith, United States Navy, Program Executive Officer, Unmanned and Small Combatants. The Honorable Steve Genesot, Mayor, City of Marinette, Wisconsin. The Honorable Gene Stegman, Mayor, City of Menominee, Michigan. Vice Admiral Del Crandall, United States Navy, Judge Advocate General of the Navy. The Honorable Russell Rumbaugh, Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Financial Management and Comptroller. The Honorable Mike Gallagher, United States Representative, State of Wisconsin, 8th Congressional District, escorted by Command Senior Chief Joseph Shedd, Marinette's Command Senior Chief. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Jennifer Granholm, our ship sponsor, escorted today by Commander Shane Brewer, Marinette's commanding officer. Ladies and gentlemen, honors to the Honorable Jennifer Granholm.
Platform and salute! Platform, ready, shoot! Advance the colors! Platform. Ready. 2.
We would like to thank the United States Navy Band, Great Lakes, Naval Station Norfolk Saluting Battery, and the Surface Combat Systems Training Command, Great Lakes Honor Guard for their participation in our ceremony today. Ladies and gentlemen, Chaplain Spindle will deliver the invocation.
Good morning, shipmates, family, and friends, both here and joining us online. I want to invite you to pray with me. Let us pray. Creator God, we thank you for this great, beautiful Navy Day that you have made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. God, as we bring life into this ship today, I ask your blessing on our honored guests today. Secretary Granholm, Congressman Gallagher, Assistant Secretary Rumbaugh, Vice Admiral Crandall, the many today who represent the state of Wisconsin, and all of those in Marinette, Menominee, and Peshtigo who have had a hand in the creation of this magnificent warship. I pray that USS Marinette and those who serve on it would embody the values of honor, courage, and commitment, and the hopes, cares, and values of all of these who bring it to life today. And God, just as this is a community of shipbuilders, I pray that the crews that serve on USS Marinette would truly embody the motto of freedom done right. I pray this for Commander Brewer and this plank-owning crew, and for all who will come after to serve on this warship. Give them wisdom to know the right and the will to carry it out. Strengthen them body, mind, and spirit for the battles ahead. Give them all your presence and your Holy Spirit, especially for Commander Brewer and those who will follow him in the days when the burden of command weighs heavy. Give them fair weather in all their voyages, and when dangers come, be their strong tower of defense. Preserve them from the dangers of the sea and the violence of the enemy. Make us strong in the fear of God and the love of righteousness, that we may serve well in support of the high ideals upon which our nation and Navy are founded. This we pray in the name of the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Spindle. Will the guests please be seated?
Marinette. Parade. Rest.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Gene Stegman.
Good morning and welcome to Menominee. It is my honor and privilege today to welcome to our community the many Navy VIPs, Commander Brewer, officers and crew of USS Marinette, elected officials, distinguished guests, neighbors, and friends. I'm especially delighted to welcome the Honorable Jennifer Granholm, former Attorney General and former Governor of the great state of Michigan, the first woman to hold both positions, current Secretary of Energy and sponsor of USS Marinette. This is an extraordinary day for both the Navy and for our twin cities of Menominee and Marinette. It's also an exceptional day for the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, who has contributed over 40% of the workforce that built this ship. I would like to thank all of you for your attendance here today for this very special, and for most of us, once-in-a-lifetime event. I would also like to thank Dan Peterson and the Commissioning Committee for their work in coordinating this celebration. And finally, I would like to thank Cynthia Kuber and KKIL, a notable Menominee business that has risen like a phoenix from the ashes of a devastating fire last fall, the gracious hosts for our ceremonies here today. Visitors, you may have noticed by scanning our skyline that it is not reminiscent of New York City, the location for the last commissioning of USS Cooperstown, nor is it Detroit. But please don't rush to judgment, because small cities can be very remarkable. Not only do we make great warships here, we also have a long tradition in Menominee of contributing to our nation's defense. In our time of need, our factories didn't just coat their usual output with a shade of military paint, they retooled entirely. During World War II, the D-Day gliders the frames for the D-Day gliders were constructed right down the highway on Lloyd Manufacturing, as they had expertise in bending tubular steel. We also made engine mounts for the famed F-6 fighter planes used by the Navy and Marines. We also made shell casings in a wide variety of calibers. Prescott Foundry, which no longer does exist, was awarded a commendation for their still classified contribution to the success of the Manhattan Project. Over the course of our history, we have provided a consistent supply of sturdy manpower for our armed forces, my own service in the U.S. Marines included. We have the sad distinction of being the hometown of the last American soldier lost in the Vietnam War, Lieutenant Colonel William Nolde. The ships built at Fincantieri Marinette Marine and today's commissioning of USS Marinette serve as more, albeit spectacular, links in our rich chain of history supporting America's military. Again, I express my sincere welcome to you all, and I hope that you hold warm memories of Menominee after your time spent here with us, that you have safe travels home, and that you come back to visit us again and enjoy all we have to offer where the best of Michigan begins.
Thank you, Mayor Stegman. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chauncey McIntosh.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and to all of our distinguished guests present today. I am so deeply honored to be here to represent Lockheed Martin, who will deliver this ship to the operational fleet of the U.S. Navy, alongside our industry partners, Fincantieri Marinette Marine, Gibbs & Cox, and many small businesses present both in Wisconsin and Michigan. It has been a great privilege to join in on this long naval tradition as USS Marinette becomes the 13th Freedom-class variant littoral combat ship to enter the U.S. fleet. And I can say, for the people that have built this ship and the rest of the LCS fleet, is what makes it truly unique. And I know that every individual that is present or not with us today that has contributed to the building of this great warship takes great pride in knowing that it bears the name Marinette. And for that, all who will see it as this ship travels across the globe will represent and recognize the amazing people of the Twin Cities of the Menominee River. The team who has built this ship has just done an exceptional job, and the littoral combat ship, remains the most capable, the most adaptable warship in the Navy's fleet, and will keep its sailors ahead of ready amid the many complex missions that are to come. Lockheed Martin takes great pride in supporting these unique missions. As the evolving threat continues to grow around the world, the proven capabilities of the LCS will also evolve to meet those new and unique challenges with the latest in technology and innovation. We remain steadfast and committed to dedicate this LCS platform and our continued partnership with the United States Navy to innovate for the future and to improve and evolve this warfighting capability as the world continues to evolve. And while this ship embraces all of the innovation, all of that technology, I know it is her crew that will bring her to life and carry on the spirit of Marinette and Menominee with it. Just as you heard about the rich legacy just stated before me of this area, that legacy is a great source of inspiration. But I challenge this crew to forge their own unique legacy for the future generations, for the thousands of men and women who built the Marinette to take pride in this great ship, as well as the namesake city it is named after. It is really the sailors who inspire today's celebration, our servicemen and servicewomen worldwide who dedicate their lives to the service of keeping us safe here at home. And while they are far away from their families and their loved ones, they make a great sacrifice to ensure the security of our nation and our allies. So I say to the crew and all of our active service members and veterans who are present here today with us, we thank you for your tireless dedication and for your many sacrifices. I also say to Commander Brewer and to your crew, on behalf of the LCS industry team, it is an honor to be in your presence today, sir. And we wish, as we celebrate this incredible milestone in the life of the Marinette, together we are building the fleet of the future. And I, along with Lockheed Martin and our industry partners, are proud of what we are delivering to the U.S. Navy today. I wish you fair winds and following seas, and Godspeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. McIntosh. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Steve Genesat.
Thank you, and good morning, and welcome distinguished guests, Captain Brewer and his crew of the United States Navy. It's hard not to get nervous with excitement for a day like today, and I do want to reiterate what Mayor Stegman said. We want to thank KKIL and the Cooper family for hosting it here on their site and use of the dock wall, and we know real estate in our area is tight, and we appreciate that. And again, thank you for allowing that. Today is truly historic as we gather here to celebrate the commissioning of the USS Marinette. It is a day filled with pride for many, many men and women who have spent countless hours building this great Navy ship right here in Marinette. Next, she will be passed on to the Navy crew and the captain who will work and live on her during her future deployments. It is an honor and a privilege to stand before you on this momentous occasion as we welcome this remarkable ship into the proud and storied lineage of the nation's naval fleet. On behalf of the city of Marinette, our tradespeople, our hardworking blue-collar professionals, I extend our heartfelt congratulations to all who have contributed to this remarkable achievement. We really do make great Navy warships. On a personal note, I cannot overstate how honored and excited I am as the mayor of Marinette, a member of this community, to be standing here today watching a ship with our city's name being brought to life and put into service for the U.S. Navy. We are a small city, but the pride of our community travels with you and the footprints all over the world. Today's commissioning is not just a celebration. Today is a very unique for this ship. Marinette is one of only 3 cities in the nation where a Navy ship has been built, christened, and commissioned in the same city as it is named after. We celebrate today in the final step for bringing the USS Marinette to life, starting with the work of the shipyard from the first cut of steel, the keel laying, and all the way up to the ship launch into the water with its tradition of christening, where we civilians recognize the big splash we see in the river and the breaking of the champagne bottle over its bow for good luck. Now today, we are commissioning this great vessel. This is the final step where the ship is handed over to her crew and captain, which brings the ship to life. Today we hand the so-called keys over to Captain Brewer and his crew. They will soon start the engines and begin the journey out to sea. And Captain Brewer, I hope you have the keys. Today is a unique opportunity for many of you, to tour the ship. We should be proud of what our community's contribution is to Navy shipbuilding, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for most people will never experience. This is an opportunity to tour a Navy warship before she sets sail, and for the captain's sake, please, if you have ice cream waiting for your tour, no ice cream on the ship. I would like to end today with remarks to our Navy captain and its crew. To the sailors who will serve aboard the USS Marinette, I say this: you are the heart and soul of this ship. You are the embodiment of our nation's strength, honor, and commitment. As you embark on this exciting new chapter of your careers, know that you carry with you the hopes and prayers of our nation, and most importantly, the pride of our community. Your dedication to duty, your professionalism, and your unwavering resolve will be driving force with the success of this ship and its missions. We're privileged to be part of this historic moment and look forward to witnessing the positive impact the USS Marinette will have on our national defense and the safety of our seas. May she sail proudly, may her crew serve with distinction, and may she always return to safe harbor. God bless the USS Marinette, her crew, and the United States Navy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Genocide. Ladies and gentlemen, Vice Admiral Del Crandall.
Good morning, Menominee and Marinette. Let me start by thanking our sponsor, Secretary Granholm, and extending warm greetings to Representative Gallagher, Assistant Secretary Rumbaugh, Mayor Genocide, Mayor Stegman, state and local leaders, community leaders, and distinguished guests. It's my great privilege to be with you and represent Admiral Franchetti, our acting Chief of Naval Operations, at this ceremony today. As a native son of the Midwest, I'm especially pleased to be here. I was born in Illinois and went to college there. But some of my best childhood memories were made right here in Wisconsin, at a small lake called Turtle Lake near Lake Delavan. So this part of the country feels like home, and it's good to be back. Today marks the culmination of many years of hard work by many people. It's that pivotal hour when the fighting ship you see behind me comes to life and gets underway in the defense of our nation. What a great day for our Navy and for these twin cities of Menominee River and for our country. Please join me in thanking the fine men and women of Fincantieri Marinette Marine for their impressive craftsmanship in building this vessel and making her ready for our nation's work. As many of you undoubtedly know, the city of Marinette was named for Marie Antoinette Chevalier, also called Queen Marinette. She was a trailblazing indigenous woman recognized for her skill as a trader and negotiator. Queen Marinette started a trading post here on the banks of the Menominee. That post grew into Marinette, first a major hub for the lumber industry, and eventually becoming a community of shipwrights. It's this adaptability and pioneering spirit that make the city of Marinette an ideal namesake for the vessel we commission today. Bearing the motto, Freedom Done Right, that's W-R-I-G-H-T, to honor this namesake city, Marinette will deploy to the oceans of the world. She will protect the homeland and safeguard the vital sea lanes that sustain our economy. For 80 years, the U.S. Navy has been the world's main guarantor of freedom on the high seas. This is not an easy mission. Today's maritime order is under threat in ways that we haven't seen for decades. If any country is allowed to wrongfully seize the resources of another nation, or claim vast sections of the high seas, or disrupt global commerce for their own ends, our world becomes a much more uncertain place. Fortunately, the U.S. Navy, your Navy, operates daily to preserve freedom of the seas and push back against aggressive behavior. Marinette will answer Admiral Franchetti's call to sail and operate wherever international law allows so that others can too. Fast and adaptable, Marinette is ready to fight and win today. She will defend the homeland with a pioneering spirit, providing maritime security, sea control, and deterrence around the world. Marinette will adapt to new missions and protect vital sea lanes in the South Atlantic, the European theater, the Middle East, and wherever she may be needed. Before closing, I want to thank Admiral Franchetti for asking me, the leader of the Navy's JAG Corps, to be here today. I feel a tremendous sense of responsibility to make sure our JAG Corps, your JAG Corps, adapts and excels in doing its part to preserve freedom. As Secretary of the Navy Del Toro says, our entire Navy and Marine Corps team is on station around the globe and around the clock, helping sustain a maritime order based on international law, one that has benefited the whole of humankind. I am humbled and honored that the JAG Corps will support Marinette, her commander, and her sailors as these plank owners embark on their mission to safeguard today's maritime order and freedom of the seas across the globe. Finally, we could not have a finer sponsor for this ship than Secretary Granholm. Like Queen Marinette, she's an accomplished leader and pioneer, Michigan's first female Attorney General and Governor. And now, as our Secretary of Energy, her life of selfless service sets a sterling example for the crew of this fine warship. As Marinette commissions today, she carries a proud legacy of the city of Marinette, one of adaptability, a pioneering spirit, and freedom done right. May the future bring fair winds and following seas to the USS Marinette, Commander Brewer and the crew, their families, and the United States of America.
Thank you, Admiral Crandall. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Russell Rumbaugh.
It's an honor to be here on this special day. First, special thanks to Secretary Granholm for being the sponsor of this ship and being the lifelong tie between this community and the ship's captain and the ship's company. Second, thanks to all of you for being here. Ship commissionings are a big deal for the U.S. Navy. In fact, so much so, let's break that down a little. Ships are a big deal for the U.S. Navy. Okay, maybe that one's a little obvious, but there are ships, and then there are ships. We have special words for those ships. Warships, battle force ships, and only those ships are commissioned. You're looking at one of those warships on the day of its commissioning. But the most important word I said was the U.S., the United States. We don't maintain warships just to have really cool, really big collector's items. We build and maintain warships to advance the interests of the United States. And so we need to be tied to the United States. A powerful way to do that is to name them after the cities of the United States. The Navy has been doing that since the 19th century. And in fact, in many ways, marks the beginning of the new Navy, a professional, modern Navy our Navy today still represents. You're looking at one of the ships named after a city, USS Marinette. And we are here at the Menominee River to commission and celebrate this community, to tie the U.S. Navy to the people of the United States. As you heard, this isn't the first Navy vessel to be named after Marinette. The large harbor tug named Marinette from the 1960s, the LST, Marinette County from World War II. That one has a special place for me. LSTs are the type of ship my grandfather served on in World War II. Often in commissioning a ship's name is the only tie to the community. If we're lucky, there's someone from the area who served on a previous ship with the same city name. At the least, I would emphasize in the speech this tie to the people of the United States. But this commissioning is celebrating a relationship much deeper and binding than just having a ship named after the community. Because this ship is named for the community that built it. Only the third time the Navy has ever done that. And it's an auspicious time to do so. Sure, the relationship between the Navy and this community goes back to those first 5 barges and 6 tugs built in Marinette that served in World War II. And there's been a relationship between the Navy and Marinette ever since. But with the Littoral combat ship, we changed our relationship and made it one of building warships. Now we do not just have a relationship, we have a partnership. Secretary of the Navy Carlos del Toro has 3 enduring priorities. The first is strengthening maritime dominance. That warship back there will do exactly that. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin in the National Defense Strategy identifies China as our pacing challenge, our most consequential strategic competitor, even as we worry about the acute threat of Russia. He does so because the President has called this the decisive decade. China wants to remake the international order, led so long by the United States, an order which has bestowed prosperity on so many, including here at home. But the President is confident our democracy is stronger than China can even understand. To prove that and outpace China, Secretary Austin has tasked us with both integrated deterrence and campaigning. By strengthening maritime dominance, the Department of the Navy provides both of those, and the LCS is one of the critical tools. At the last LCS commissioning, I attended Admiral Sam Paparo, currently at Pacific Fleet and nominated to be the Indo-Pacific Command Commander, said LCS are versatile platforms, and our nation needs this great ship. I'm afraid I have to pause here to say I hope the hold on the military nominations that has stretched on for so long will be ended. The sailors and Marines of the Department of the Navy will always work to keep our nation safe. But I'm seeing firsthand how much harder than necessary it is right now. Getting our Chief of Naval Operations and Admiral Paparo and so many of our other flag officers into place, along with the hundreds of others, is critical. Nevertheless, we know the challenge China poses, and our leaders have told us how to respond. To return to my Secretary's priorities, after strengthening maritime dominance, the second is building a culture of warfighting excellence. Commander Brewer and his crew represent that more than any words I could say. The third, as I said, is enhancing strategic partnerships. That is what the Department of the Navy, Fincantieri Marinette Marine, all of its suppliers and partners, and Marinette and this community have, a strategic partnership. We have already committed to that continuing partnership with the frigates. And partnership isn't just a celebration. I'm the comptroller, the money guy. Most times when I get together with the executives here, it's to talk about how we keep costs down, quality up, and the opportunity to build yet more ships. I absolutely want to flag for everyone here today the importance on all of us at working at that partnership. It gets at the third charge Secretary Austin has given us. Build enduring advantage. An advantage that comes from our partnership with our industrial partners like Fincantieri Marinette Marine. We have to work at this relationship to make sure these ships stay strong. We have to make sure the United States outpaces China. As the comptroller, I know how much we are doing to increase domestic production capacity and renew the sources of our economic security. That keeps our supply chain strong and resilient in the face of China. It keeps our defense industrial base thriving. We in the Department of the Navy are making direct investments into the industrial base, even as we build new and deeper partnerships like the one we are celebrating today. But I'm not here today as the comptroller. I'm here today representing the Secretary of the Navy. And here, we're today to celebrate the commissioning of this great warship, to celebrate the partnership between the U.S. Navy and this community, to thank the men and women who built this ship, to thank the men and women who stand behind and support those who built this ship, to thank the entire community, and to thank the men and women who will serve on this ship. And finally, to commission another great ship to help keep the United States the greatest nation on earth. Now, we in the Department of the Navy are honored to have Representative Gallagher here today to celebrate this commissioning. You here don't need his background, as he's such a member. Let me say he is a strong ally of ours in Congress as we seek to outpace China. Although if you'll let me put my comptroller hat back on for a second, I do hope we'll have his help getting our defense appropriations, ideally in the next 2 weeks, so we can keep our next ship commissioning on track. Congressman Gallagher, thank you for being here today to commission this great ship. Thank you, sir.
I'm an authorizer. Thank you. What a great day. Good morning to everyone. It's great to be with you. Today we commission the USS Marinette. Now, I've represented the city of Marinette and the shipyard for 7 years now. And we've hosted presidents, vice presidents, service secretaries, but at its core, Marinette remains a blue-collar city where people like to fish, they like to hunt, they like to drink beer, some may have started already today, and they like to build warships. My favorite thing in coming to the shipyard is how often someone will come up to me and say, I've been working here for X number of years, my dad worked here, my grandpa worked here. See, in Marinette, building warships is a family affair. And today we celebrate that proud tradition. I'd like to congratulate the ship's sponsor, our Energy Secretary and former Governor of Michigan, the Honorable Jennifer Granholm. Usually, this is the point in the speech when I would crack a joke about some bad Michigan sports team, but I'm trying to be bipartisan and nice. And the truth is, I'm standing here today on Michigan soil, and something is bothering me more than the fact that the Detroit Lions may actually be a good football team this year. And it's the fact that this land, by rights, belongs to Wisconsin. You see, there's some young people, a few young people in the audience who may not know the history, but in the 1830s, a bunch of bloodthirsty Michiganders tried to steal the Toledo Strip from Ohio, thus provoking a war that necessitated presidential intervention. And you see, the president at the time, Andrew Jackson, needed Ohio's electoral votes, so Ohio kept Toledo, but the Congress, turns out Congress doesn't always do a smart thing, Congress gave Wisconsin's Upper Peninsula to Michigan as a consolation prize. Innocent Wisconsinites lost a war they had nothing to do with. So today, let this be a lesson to all of us in the dangers of turning inward and ignoring foreign threats and letting them spiral into costly wars. Because today, another war looms in the near future. As the Secretary of the Air Force put it bluntly last week, the intelligence couldn't be clearer. China is preparing for a war with the United States over Taiwan. Our greatest adversary on the world stage, the Chinese Communist Party, has embarked upon the largest sustained peacetime military buildup since World War II. The CCP has at least 15 times the nuclear weapons it had at the beginning of the century. The People's Liberation Army Navy has 10 times the battle force ships it had 20 years ago, eclipsing the United States Navy by 41 hulls that are on average newer than ours. China not only has the largest navy in the world, if you factor in their Coast Guard, their maritime militia, by sheer numbers, they have the 3 largest navies in the world. Now, this is the point when all the sailors in attendance tell me, well, our ships are better and our sailors are better. And I agree emphatically, but at some point, quantity has a quality all of its own. And if you rest your whole argument on that case, you're ignoring the last 1,200 years of evidence showing that numerically inferior navies, even those which are better and technologically superior, rarely defeat their numerically superior adversaries. Thus, and the only point I want to make today, the single most important thing we can do to counter this threat, the single most important thing we can do to prevent a war that has the potential to make the war over Toledo and even previous world wars look restrained in comparison, is to build as many warships as possible. The USS Marinette is now a critical part of that effort. But the city that bears her name will get little rest because we're going to be asking you to build many more warships in order to prevent war in the days and weeks and years to come. And so, while Marinette may not have prevented Michigan from unjustly taking Menominee, with ships like this, I'm confident that Marinette can prevent the communists from taking Taiwan. And so, Commander Brewer, I want to say to you, this is a proud day for you and your crew, but no pressure. Not only are we putting this ship in your command, but in some meaningful sense, we're placing the fate of the free world in your hands and in the hands of the United States Navy. So to paraphrase my first Marine Corps commander, to sanitize what he said, don't mess it up. I'm confident, and we got your back in Congress if you find yourself in a scrap. So on this great day, I want to thank all of you who made it possible, particularly those who built this ship. God bless the United States Navy, on Wisconsin, go Packers, and God bless America.
Thank you, Representative Gallagher. Secretary Rumbaugh, I would be honored if you would place Marinette in commission.
On behalf of the President of the United States and for the Secretary of the Navy, I hereby place United States ship Marinette in commission. May God bless and guide this warship and all who shall sail on her.
Thank you, Secretary Rumbaugh. Executive Officer, hoist the colors and commissioning pennant.
Aye, aye, sir. Ship's company, attention!
The commission pennant in professional navies began to take form in the 17th century. All ships at that time were sailing ships, and it was often difficult to tell a naval ship from a merchant ship. Navies began to adopt long, narrow pennants to be flown by their ships at the mainmast head to distinguish themselves from merchant ships. The commission pennant will fly continuously until the ship is decommissioned. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. I direct your attention to the ship's main mast as we hoist the colors and commission pennant.
Quartermaster, hoist the colors and commission pennant! Captain, colors and commission pennant are flying proudly over USS Marinette.
Very well.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
I will now read my orders. From Commander, Naval Personnel Command to Commander Shane Brewer, United States Navy Subject, Bureau of Naval Personnel Order number 0225 of 1 April 2022. When directed by reporting senior, detach from present duty and report to future USS Marinette as prospective commanding officer. Upon commissioning of USS Marinette, report for duty as commanding officer.
Admiral Crandall, United States ship Marinette is in commission and I am in command, sir.
Very well. Congratulations.
Executive Officer, set the watch.
Aye, aye, sir.
Port, halt.
Officers of deck, set the first watch.
Aye, aye, sir.
The The officer of the deck is the commanding officer's direct representative, and while on watch is responsible for the safety and smooth operation of the ship. The long glass is the traditional symbol of an officer of the deck's authority in a ship of the line. We are honored to have Mr. Dan Peterson, our commissioning committee chairman, with us to assist in setting the first watch by passing the long glass to our first ship's officer of the deck, Lieutenant Nathan Mix from Olympia, Washington. The petty officer of the watch is Bosun Mate First Class Alexandria McKellen from Orangeburg, South Carolina. The messenger of the watch is Bosun Mate Third Class Jalen Smith from Dallas, Texas. And the bosun mate of the watch is Bosun Mate First Class Matthew Fudge from Jacksonville, Florida.
Set the watch. On deck, section 1.
Sir, the watch is set.
Very well. Detail. Forward, march. Captain, the watch is set.
Very well.
The spirit of U.S. Navy warship is the embodiment of our sponsor. We are delighted to have our sponsor, the Honorable Jennifer Granholm, with us today. Secretary Granholm christened the ship in Marinette, Wisconsin on November 20th, 2021. Secretary Granholm, I would be honored if you would give the order to man our ship and bring her to life.
Commander Brewer, Congressman Gallagher, welcome to Michigan, despite what I can see are some hegemonic tendencies. Mayor Stegman, Mayor Genesat, and to all of you who are gathered here. The USS Marinette, she is magnificent. And I want to share with you just one aspect of her story. She was born to a family of Italian heritage, a big family, the 13th in a clan of now 16 siblings, all born right here. USS Marinette's family had moved to America because of some persuasion and diplomacy and a few incentives by a couple of governors. Governor Jim Doyle and myself, the then governors of Wisconsin and Michigan. It was 2008, in the throes of the Great Recession, when Michigan and Wisconsin were losing manufacturing jobs at an alarming rate. And Governor Doyle and I were trying to diversify our state economies and bring work to hard-hit northern Michigan and Wisconsin. So we heard about this storied Italian shipbuilder in the market to have a U.S. presence, and we thought a marriage might be in order. So we went to the Fincantieri shipyards in Italy, and we wooed our Marinette's parents to the shores of the Menominee River. And lo and behold, the LCS family was planted here. So I'm honored to be one of her many parents, and I was very humbled when former Navy Secretary Mabus asked me to be her sponsor. I'm particularly proud that she's named after a great city, in a great region, forged by cheeseheads and youpers who love America, who thrive on hard work, who love, as been said, hunting and good beer and the Packers. And we're all proud that the USS Marinette and her crew will be serving our nation in this time of global threats and hostilities, ensuring that America's interests are protected around the globe. Also has been noted the perils are real. Our adversaries are threatening. And our U.S. Navy is on guard for us. As President Teddy Roosevelt once said, A good Navy is not a provocation to war. It is the surest guarantee of peace. May the USS Marinette join the mighty American naval fleet as part of the arsenal of deterrence, the signal that America is strong, is ever present, is protecting the seas for us and for our allies. Thank you to those of you out here who crafted our warrior, who laid her keel, who welded her together with precision, who outfitted her modules with strength and care. And thank you to the officers and crew who will guide her on this next chapter of her young life. May she carry with her on her missions around the globe the spirit of her namesake, the grandeur of Lake Michigan, the green of the northern forests, and the love of the people of her birthplace. And with that, officers and crew of the USS Marinette, man our ship and bring her to life. Aye, aye, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, the crew of USS Marinette salutes you. We're proud to serve in America's Navy. Ready? Two! Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Captain, the ship is manned and ready.
Very well. Commodore Haney, United States ship Marinette is manned and ready and reports for duty, sir.
Very well. Welcome to the fleet, Marinette.
Secretary Rumbaugh, request mission to break your flag, sir.
Very well, and thank you for your service.
Executive Officer, break the flag of the Assistant Secretary of the Navy.
Aye, aye, sir. Quartermaster, break the flag of the Assistant Secretary of the Navy. Captain, the flag of the Assistant Secretary of the Navy is flying proudly over USS Marinette.
Very well.
Ladies and gentlemen, Commander Shane Brewer, United States Navy, Commanding Officer, USS Marinette.
Crew of USS Marinette, parade, rest. Good morning. Getting to this moment was quite the journey, especially for our crew and the commissioning committee. Our sponsor, Secretary Granholm, Admiral, Commodores, state leaders, local leaders, thank you. Welcome to the families, my friends, my shipmates, shipbuilders, and honored guests. I'm extremely honored to be the first commanding officer of this great ship and hard-working crew of American sailors. Due to countless hours of preparation, all of you and my crew got to capture this moment in our history. 30 years ago, I experienced an identical event with a ship and crew that would change my life forever. A couple of my shipmates are in the audience today. This crew and ship are not much different. We've overcome countless challenges and thrive on success. Our crew members compete for qualifications, they experience stress and successes, all while simultaneously looking out for each other. They love this ship, and like myself, truly enjoy the privilege of wearing this uniform. I would like to thank the shipbuilders in and around Marinette and Menominee, and the many others whose tireless work made it possible for my crew to man this ship today. It is now our responsibility to safely sail this ship to Florida, complete final qualifications, and get her ready to deploy to any area of the world. This plank owner crew standing before you understands this and are truly excited for the challenges that lie ahead. I would like to extend my personal gratitude to the commissioning committee, especially Nancy Douglas, Cynthia Cooper, Mayor Genocide, Dan Peterson, and the Green Bay Navy League. I'd also like to thank the American citizens of Menominee, Marinette, and Peshtigo who have welcomed us, provided unwavering support, and above all, shared your American spirit with Marinette sailors. Your dedication to this ship and our Navy and our nation will never be forgotten. My mom and dad are here today. I'll bet you anything, you never thought this would happen. After high school, when she dropped me off at the recruiting office. Love you, Mom and Dad. To my wife, Tracy, and our 2 daughters, no one can do this without the support of our families. It's been said many times, we wear the uniform, but it's the family that's the thread that holds it all together, especially when we're away. I love you, girls. I love you, Tracy. Lastly, to my plank owner crew, I am honored to be your captain to take this ship through the lakes and into the Atlantic with our nation's flag flying high. This ship is fast, lethal, and we are ready to carry out our orders, promoting peace and stability around the world. These men and women aboard USS Marinette are the absolute best and brightest, and truly represent the thousands of sailors that are standing watch right now around the world. This crew has truly embodied our motto, freedom done right, and have embraced her namesake city. I couldn't be prouder of them. The shipbuilders, formerly known as shipwrights, have provided our country another worthy United States warship for us to preserve the freedom we enjoy every day. Crew of USS Marinette, attention, freedom done right. Thank you.
Will the guests please rise? Chaplain Spindle will deliver the benediction.
Shipmates, family and friends, honored guests, once again I invite you to pray with me and receive this benediction from Psalm 107. Let us pray. Eternal Father, strong to save, as your word says, some went down to the sea in ships, doing business on the great waters. They saw the deeds of the Lord, his wondrous works in the deep. For he commanded and raised the stormy wind, which lifted up the waves of the sea. They mounted up to heaven. They went down to the depths. Their courage melted away in their evil plight. They reeled and staggered like drunken men. They were at their wits' end. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. He made the storm be still, and the waves of the sea were hushed. Then they were glad that the waters were quiet, and he brought them to their desired haven. May it be so for the crew of USS Marinette. In his name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain.